I mean, everybody should be appealing to all voters. It's not whether it's 11th hour or 24th hour.
Exactly. So why is it that you have to appeal to the black man, single out the black man to appeal to them now?
Because they are still a voting bloc, and it's going to be a voting bloc that she'll require to put her over the finish line, especially in such a tight race. Every vote matters when you're talking about less than a couple points between them.
Black man. That's what should have happened to everybody. But if you're going to single, she's going to appeal to black man now. Still, a black person should be on her side from a long time ago.
I don't subscribe to that message that any race or voting demographic should be on your side. They should be on your side based on your policies and what you put forward. I've never subscribed to this that a certain block of voters should support you on the basis of some inherent characteristic. I've never liked that idea.
You don't think Trump is relying heavily and white person come out and vote for him?
I'm sure he does know, but I don't like the appealing to those kind of demographics. I've always been uncomfortable with it. I've just never liked it.
But in the politics of the moment, what is playing out,
it is what it is.
She should get that pat down from a long time ago. Got her house in order. He shouldn't have come down to this.
Well, I mean, she hasn't had the opportunity. Remember, her ticket was inherited quite recently at that matter, you know. So it's not her who should have been making that appeal from a long time.
You see, the difference is not, Siobhan. Trump base will always be Trump base. Those not moving. Kamala have to appeal to everybody constantly because fear base keeps shifting and moving. Why Trump is not moving?
Well, Trump's base is not going to win an election. It's not going to win a national election. I'm sure it can win some small contests here and there, but his base is not strong enough on its own to win a national election. And I think this is something that the Democrats have ran circles around the Republicans in the United States on, is building a proper coalition, a national election winning coalition. And the Republicans are playing catch up on that in that regard.
You think so? If I was a gambler, I would bet that Trump is going to win the election. But
all right, thank you, Faithful.
Have a good evening. Have a good evening.
630-9371-24, 618-8255. Who's next? Andreen, good evening.
Hi, pleasant good evening, Ricardo and Siobhan.
Good evening,
ma'am.
How
are you?
Doing
Hope you
well.
had a good weekend.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. But there are some persons, you see, who actually sit on the sideline who is neither green or orange or diarted, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have voted twice in my life, right? And I vote for both parties. That's the time when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
Actually 30 years ago, right? But you analyze, and I'd like to ask both of you a question. Since Mr. Holness took over the government, isn't there any improvement in the country?
No denying that.
Oh, because you see, look at the bus service, right? Mm-hmm. The other day we got, I can't remember if it's 100 buses that we didn't have to borrow any loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Both of you are male, so I'm not going to use this thing to say, suppose if I'm a woman and I have a man sweet mouthing me and say, you know that I'm going to give you a car and I'm going to give you a house, but after dating, I don't see the house or the car forthcoming. On the other side, sitting on the fence now, I used to say, sure, I'm not voting because I don't business with any of them. Both of them are the same thing. But at some point in our lives, as Jamaicans, if we allow the other persons who are die-hearted to vote, then what is going to happen to us? Right? And if there wasn't any fiscal discipline with Nigel Clark, or we do the government, right? Or we took care of the government, I don't think we would have been in this situation. And sometimes we have to be grateful. Sometimes we have to see the glass half full instead of half empty. And I don't like the other side. Oh, all they do is tear down the government. Every time you come is tear down the government. And I hear some of the radio announcers, like they say, the JLP, they're not good at campaigning. But sometimes we have to listen radio and read and analyze things for ourselves.
But do you think a lot of that is happening though? out there
lot,
in,
a lot of
or the reading and analyzing for ourselves? Do you think a lot of people are doing that?
no, because you see, and Siobhan, not to take anything away from you, but Ricardo, I want to congratulate you as a fast rising star within Mr. Hughes camp.
Thank you, but
Yeah.
no, but
At first, sometimes I say, sure, sometimes I like I'm going, but that I can't take it, but you're a fast rising star, and I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that. But no, but the point you made about reading and analyzing for ourselves, I'm wondering, Siobhan makes the point that, more communication is necessary about the things that directly affect people. And you say that you think there needs to be more reading and analyzing. But if that is not happening, don't you think the JLP needs to make sure that those positive things that you talk about, that they say they have done, that you say you see, that more people hear them?
But look here, I work every day in Ricardo, and sometimes, like, I don't have time. But I am in Jamaica, right? And as I said, I've been sitting on the sideline
Yes.
and said, you know what, I'm voting, I'm in a business with them. You understand?
Yes.
But you can't, because, listen, when Mr. Olness, right, was, I think, I can't remember what year it was with the election, right? A certain member of the other side tried to tear down the young man. I'm not saying he's perfect, and he better make whatever they accusing him of is clean, right? Because if I am orange and I see somebody in the orange do wrong, I'm gonna speak about it. If somebody in the green do wrong, I am a Jamaican,
right,
first and foremost, because wherever I go in the world, after 3 months, there's this thing in your tummy where you want to come back to Jamaica. Jamaica is not worse off than anywhere,
But let me ask
You
you.
have to be grateful.
But let me ask you, if there's any one thing about what you've seen from this government, what would be that one thing that pushes you to say you will vote?
There is more than one
Oh,
thing.
more than one thing. Okay.
First of all, in the community where I do my little thing, I often hear the elderly speak. Those who are paying people, some get a little thing from the government. That never used to happen. Right?
Right.
The bus service, I like it. And the third thing, when I watch the news, when I get a chance to watch the news at night, I like what you'd call it now, the improvement of the houses that they are giving out to people who say poor people then, who don't have the. Because another thing, you can't get up every day and say, I love the poor and I love the poor. Are you not? You see me? I won't run behind neither JLP or PNP for anything unless I see my life is improved. Because what's the use? You give me $5,000 for go vote, and then the next time I can't even call to you. And you see the MP them to Ricardo and Siobhan. They can't. Sometimes you can put on a little fundraising in your community, Because if I was an MP, you see, and I say I have a business or I work, I would put on a little dollar in my sleeve. I'm not going to wait until central government or whichever government give me a little subvention or whatever they call it. I have to save out of my pocket to improve people's lives. So anybody, and you see another thing with the voters. So sometimes, you say, Ricardo, say you are PNP. Right? But you don't like, sometimes you vote for the person, and not for the party, because you know what, the MP may be doing good in your area. So you have a JLP and you have a PNP, but the PNP man him go around and him look about the elderly. I mean, don't wait until this time. Right? He's at funeral. I'm not saying giving handout, but he's to the welfare.
He stays close to the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so sometimes them can't do a little thing. That's why some of them lose them vote them too lackadaisical.
So from where you sit, you think the Holness government deserves a third term?
You hear me say how much years I don't vote? I don't vote for how much years. I'm not going to tell you how old I am.
But you plan to vote in the next election?
Let me say is the other day after I go find out. Because I said, no, man. You see, I don't know if you have ever taken any of the bus since the new buses, right?
Yeah, I went on one. We
Right.
never drive off, but, but I went on one, yes.
Yeah, and all them clean and nice, and I'm begging the people them don't mash up the people them bus.
Yes.
Right? Because sometimes we destroy our own country. And another thing, everybody want, in the 8 years, everybody want raise up here. Then if you give everybody raise up here, what is going to happen to the country? Yes, and I might say that my life is not like, say you are Siobhan or Ricardo who might drive a Prado, right?
No, don't do it that.
Right.
Don't do it that.
Right.
Not doing that.
But the thing is, we can't all get oxtail and rice and peas and tomato. Sometimes we have to swing low, and if Nigel Clark hadn't fixed this economy, Jamaica wouldn't be what, and that is why I'm 14.
Okay.
Right? Jamaica, may I tell you the truth, wouldn't be what it coming a business about JLP or PNP, you know, I business about Jamaica and the improvement of our life. And I feel that if we just have a little patience, I don't know, Ricardo or Siobhan, if you ever really want something and pray for it, and then tomorrow you get the thing. And
Yeah.
I said, then God really exists, or whoever the superior being is. And I think that if Jamaicans are patient,
Yes.
eventually the country will improve, because neither you nor Siobhan can tell me that we not see no improvement in Jamaica.
So let me ask you this last question. I don't know if Siobhan has any, but let me ask you this. When you talk to the people around you, you know, people at work, you know, your relatives.
European people, look here now, my former boss.
So you won.
My former boss was PNP.
Yes.
And every day I'm coming to the office, especially when election time comes. Miss X, you remember what Mr. Siaga did though? And you remember what I said? No, I don't remember. And my ex
Yes.
ran on the PNP ticket. And yes, I support him as, you know, you're together and you have to support the person, whatever.
Right.
You understand? And him come from in at the rain. I can't remember what election it was, but I think it was the last time Mr. Siaga thing there ran.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody can brainwash me now. And you see all longer on the side analyzing, but they must stop tear down the poor young. I'm not saying, I apologize for saying you. They must stop. And another thing, I hear people saying, oh, JLP not fighting enough. Ricardo, if you live with your spouse, right? Mm-hmm. You want the person to come every day and say, Ricardo and Siobhan, oh, no carry no money, come. And every day you're trying your best. And every day your wife or your spouse come. Ricardo and Siobhan, look here now. We tell us to carry apple for me. Ricardo and Siobhan, we tell us to carry. No.
As very.
So I don't believe that because one side is going in cascades every day. I honestly don't. So I don't understand how people are saying, oh, Andrew, I try to fix the country and him not going out. After we're not blind.
Very, very interesting perspective.
We're not blind, and we can't say. Especially look on the house them at night time. Them not watch news. Look on the house them where the people them get the liquor. Right now, me have built a house on 2017. I'll know me I can't get my one can done. I wouldn't mind if I get one of those Andrew buildings. That's
the social housing program.
Yeah, I would, but they're not going to give it to me because you have some fast mouth. I go say, oh, she don't need it.
Shall build big house down the road.
Yeah, you understand? But we cannot say, and you see another thing with some of the workers, and you see another thing too, I'm going to hang up to give people a chance. We have to help build our country. Now, we can't sit down on the sideline every day and say, government now do nothing. So what are we doing to help ourselves and to help Jamaica?
Yes. You know, it's interesting because sometimes, I do understand. And it's interesting because sometimes I hear from Jamaicans who say the government must do more. And then I hear from Jamaicans like you who ask the opposite question, what are we doing for ourselves? And I feel like that's probably a difference of worldview, maybe.
Look here now.
It's a different of generational world.
Perhaps.
Found.
Yeah, perhaps.
Look here.
Yes.
When rain falls, the government, if you clean the gully, and the government clean the gully Monday.
And they would throw
And
the garbage in
Friday,
there.
Let them
Yes.
throw the
The
plastic
goal is
bottle and the
full
orange juice
of-
box.
Yes. Yeah.
You understand? We don't have some of us.
Yes.
You understand? If you ask about 10 persons, they're going to vote. Well, I can be, I could be people could say that, but you never used to vote. But at some point in our lives, if everybody who died, then I get a 5-5, and then we say, oh, we're not voting, although I could be accused of that first time.
Mm-hmm.
We're not voting, but yet we want everything good for the country.
Yeah.
You see the road them? Yes, probably. And sometimes, whether PNP or JLP, we mustn't go on the campaign and make promises that we can't fulfill. If you said 10 promises, whether Mr. Golding or Mr. Olness, try and fulfill at least 7 and come out to the people and said, like, what you call it there, like the meeting that you have. Don't just when election time come, you're going to come around to me and take me for fool. Like some man, them sweet mouth you when you're dating. Right? And appealing to the women, them when you're dating, try get everything you can. Because you see, after the 3 years and you live with them, you're not getting anything more. Well, some. Right? So it's like after the election, they've done business with you. You have to come out, man, see what about the elderly. Right now, I wish I win the lotto tomorrow because while I look about the I don't want to say the poor, but you see the elderly
Yes.
and like the disabled. Those are the persons that I would use my money to look about.
All right, we appreciate the call. Thank you so
So,
much.
guys, have a good
Interesting
evening.
perspectives. Yeah, man, you
And
too.
I'm proud of you both for choosing the right way because I guess your parents grow you good. Because you guys could be out doing scamming and other things.
No,
you know.
sir. No, sir.
Me too coward.
I would have
so
tanned my
proud
butt
of you,
raw if she ever found that I was involved in something like scamming. No, sir.
Yeah,
No,
and
sir, at all.
analyze, man. I'm asking the people of Jamaica, analyze. Don't want everybody wanting one. They can't analyze things, man, and say and don't take no sweet mouth. Some people love sweet mouth people too much.
All right, thanks for the call.
You me for years, and when time come and you have me, you don't give me the thing. But when you see a next man take me up now and start fix me up and give me everything now, my Prada and my Lexus, I have 3 cars now, you come make nice. Oh, yes, man, we could have give you them then. But you did promise much, you never give me.
Appreciate
Have
the
a good
call.
evening, guys.
You too. It's an interesting way of looking
Before
at
we
it.
go to the next call, I realize people keep asking, what do I mean by the Jamaica Labour Party as an image problem? It shows us in the polls. It is confirmed by Minister Vaz speaking this afternoon.
Yes.
If you look at the polls suggesting that corruption used to be a distant concern for the Jamaican people, and now I think it's second or third in terms of their concerns about the government. Imagine that. If this was
Second, I think. Yeah.
Yes, imagine this 3 to 4 years ago, it wouldn't even have registered because the People's National Party has successfully damaged the image of the Jamaica Labour Party through their constant attacks and the needling on corruption and other issues. And the reason why they continue to use that as a potent strategy, and as Minister Vaz pointed out, without touching any matter of policies or programs, is because they know they don't need to touch any of those avenues in order to get a hold of Gordon House. It is a simple, easily calculated maneuver that they expect come the next general election, people will be voting against the government and
Rather
not
than
for them.
Yeah, I think that's a fair conclusion.
And when someone asks me whether it is a perception or reality, when you're talking about an image problem, it's always a matter of perception. We're not talking about reality.
Then oftentimes that perception becomes the beholder's reality.
Exactly.
Yeah. 10 minutes to 8. Mike, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
I don't understand if it's the same Jamaica I'm living with. A lot of people talking all sort of rubbish.
What do you mean?
Imagine, you see, road construction is one of the biggest corruption in this country.
Yeah, there's
You
truth
see
to
what
that.
happened in the patching of the road, how it is done?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a waste of taxpayers' money. The reason why, when you see a road damage, all the guys just come and do is just dig out the damaged thing, put some little thing inside there and pave it and they go. And within 6 months or a year, it's going back to where it's coming. Because what happened, they haven't changed the contour of the road. The water sections on the road for years and years, and both these two governments, they haven't seen that it's a total waste of money. But the money is just washing down the drain. I see so many roads where water settle and break up the road, and all the guys them come and just dig out, put some mud and put some pavement, and within 6 months or a year, it come back to what it was before.
Yes.
It's the biggest corruption in this country, and the Prime Minister of this, none of the Prime Minister who in this country haven't seen that. It's so stupid. And people is commending all the different Prime Minister for running this country into wasting people's money. I work sometimes 6 and 7 days a week and paying my taxes and see my car just burst tire. Who pay for my tires when my tire burst? Nobody burst 2 tires one time. Rim bend up. Right? And nobody is paying me. The contractors come and do any rubbish and just collect their money and laugh. And the government over these many years have not trying to say, well, what you're not doing is rubbish. They don't care because it's not their money out of their pocket. And people talking about the vote. Vote what? I tell my children when I sent to university, don't make sense to vote. Because both these governments is the same stupid thing they're doing every year after.
But if you don't vote, right?
That you cannot change anything. You're not changing anything at all.
So you're just going to live under the conditions that you think.
Because what you have to do, the people go to and demonstrate to pay gas tax, to pay all type of tax.
And what will that achieve?
Right, what needs to be done is that we have somebody who is better keep everyone in control, and then and people will vote. You're going to just remain year after year the same thing. People talking, vote for this and vote for that, and the same thing keep happening.
Right. So I'm asking you. So I'm asking you. Okay, fine. You say voting won't change it.
What you need is a different party.
A third party.
It's a third party.
Okay.
And run out these two idiots out of the parliament. Bush go and start something and he just run back into the other party and I thought it would have gone far ahead now.
Yes.
All these rubbish people talking nonsense. The transport sector in Jamaica is total rubbish.
The what? I didn't hear that. Say that again.
The transport sector is total rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Because when 10 kids leave to go home to go to school and come from school, there's nothing for them to go home. They have to jump in some car trunk and all those foolishness. You need a proper transport system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And people talking
you would be
they don't know anything better.
And you would be willing to pay more taxes to allow that proper transport system to exist?
In fact, none of these governments or finance minister doesn't understand to collect tax. You know, my people should have been paying tax around this country, hundreds of thousands.
Oh, I didn't hear your answer to my question, though.
They are not collecting tax on those people.
I didn't hear your answer to my question, though. Would you be willing to pay more taxes?
Should have be paying taxes, not paying tax.
Is that a no? You wouldn't be willing to pay more?
Huh?
I'm asking you, would you be willing to pay more taxes to allow?
It's not me to pay. It's not. I'm willing to pay more taxes. Not only pay more taxes, but we have to get all those not paying taxes to pay.
Okay.
The mechanic shops, the beat out shops, the spray man, the cabinet shop, all those people who's making hundreds of $1,000s per week is not paying a cent.
Oh, you mean like some of the small businesses and so?
Yes, man who do body work,
yes.
Mechanic, spray man.
Okay.
Also the people around the country making millions of dollars. And they're not paying a cent.
But isn't it true that some of those people that you're referring, they're outside of the formal economy?
Huh?
Isn't it true that some of those people you're referring to are outside the formal economy?
I mean, outside the formal economy?
Yeah, aren't they outside of the formal economy, some of them?
I don't understand what you mean by it.
It means as in they're not formally registered.
They're not paying tax.
Because they're not registered.
And making money and they're not paying. They need so much the tax. I was living in a country in the Caribbean.
And let me hold on before you continue with the country. Before you continue.
If they pay tax and say, do you have a tax receipt? And he doesn't have a tax receipt. They say you need to pay X.
Okay, before you continue.
So the next time,
are you listening?
You can't operate because you need to pay tax. You can't be living in this country.
I don't think he's listening. Are you listening to me? Can I ask a question? Hello?
It looks like we've lost him.
No, what I wanted to ask him, because sometimes I feel like there's some amount of dissonance that exists in this society, because when you have... Hello? No.
Not here, nothing.
Yeah. Are you hearing me now? No, he's not hearing me. But I want to ask you, because when we hear about calls from tougher enforcement or, bringing people into the formal economy, there have been efforts to do that. And what always happens in a situation like that, whether you try to enforce the law or you try to bring some order to some kind of chaotic situation,
There's pushback.
and what is the first thing that people say? You fight out the
Yes,
little man.
you're fighting the hustler and all those
And
things.
I whenever people call and make these kind of comments, I always say, but we are the same people who complain when there's an effort to do that. So sometimes, and I'm telling you, I couldn't do it, Heavy is the head, I suppose, that wears the crown, because Jamaica is just a very difficult country to govern.
I think Jamaica suffers from the problem where the default position is the law breaking, and that forces it to be far more difficult to enforce the law. Because, and I suppose it comes back to our historical truth. Hustling and just surviving was the means from which the Jamaican culture sprang forth. So now we're trying to formalize something that has been an ingrained problem. And I don't know how you solve that one. One person suggests that we essentially abolish income tax and go straight to a GCT regime. And I can assure you a lot of people would complain if you did that.
Yeah, I think I've spoken to economists who tell me that would be, I think they say it would be regressive, because those at the bottom would bear the disproportionate bulk or burden because they have to buy day to day. Somebody explain it to me now, because I used to advocate that position.
And to do that also require that many of the goods that the less well off in our society rely on, such as chicken back and things which are not taxed, would have to be
become
taxed.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose we'll continue to have these conversations. Yeah? That's all the time we have this evening. Thank you so much to our producer, Dana Davey. Damien Cunningham is the man behind the control. I don't think I've ever seen you here this hour, Damien.
I have before. At least one occasion.
Oh, I know. I think it's the first time. Our colleagues in the newsroom, led by our editor, Cara Powell, the best in the business. Thank you all so much for making Nationwide at 5 possible. Our sponsors, our contributors, and you, our valued listeners. Thank you so much. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good evening.
Ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
When Sagicor Bank thinks of a woman, here's what we see. We see business leaders managing sole trader businesses to large corporations. We see university graduates as our women uplift themselves academically